Have you ever heard the story of Manny Pacquiao's other son? Not Jimmy or Michael, but a young man named Emmanuel Eman Bacosa. His story is one of patience, forgiveness, and a shared passion for the sport that made his father a global icon. Right from the very beginning, Eman knew who his father was. His mother, Joanna, who had a relationship with Pacquiao back in 2003, never hid the truth from him. And honestly, looking at Eman, the resemblance to the boxing legend is absolutely undeniable. It's like looking at a younger version of the Pac-Man himself. Imagine growing up knowing your father is one of the most famous people on the planet. Tatway Mons for years. He grew up in Tegonte Davao del Norte with his father. For a long time, the public knew of Pacquiao's family with Jinky. But Eman's story remained in the shadows, a quiet truth known only to a few. It wasn't until 2022. After Eman had turned 18 and a full decade had passed without seeing his father, that everything changed. The long 10-year wait finally came to an end, and it was a moment that Eman says was absolutely worth it. By this time, Eman was 21. He had just returned to the Philippines after spending 5 years in Japan, where he was not only studying but also starting his own journey in boxing, a path unknowingly parallel to his father's. The reunion was everything he had hoped for. In a heartfelt interview, Eman described the moment he saw his father again. "We visited my dad, and he let us in. Then my dad hugged me tightly," he recalled. The first words from the boxing champion were, "I missed you, son. I haven't seen you for such a long time." Overwhelmed with emotion, Eman hugged him back, fighting to hold back tears of pure joy. 10 years is a long time, an eternity, for a son waiting to reconnect with his father. This reunion wasn't just about a hug. It was about healing. It was a moment of deep forgiveness and mutual understanding. Pacquiao, understanding the weight of the lost years, asked for his son's forgiveness. And Eman, with a maturity beyond his years, readily gave it. "I forgave him as well," Eman shared. "I said, 'Dad, I understand your situation. What's important to me is that I get to be with you and that you support my boxing career.'" For Eman, it was never about resentment. It was about connection and a shared future. The fact that his father was willing to support his dream meant the world to him. Interestingly, Manny's initial reaction to Eman's boxing aspirations was one of concern. Knowing the brutal, unforgiving nature of the sport that he himself had conquered, Pacquiao at first discouraged his son. He said, "Boxing is hard. Just focus on your studies instead." "I'll just send you to America," Eman recounted. It was a father's protective instinct kicking in. He wanted a different, perhaps easier, life for his son, away from the physical punishment of the ring. But Eman's passion for boxing wasn't just a whim. It was a fire lit years ago, specifically in 2011, when he watched his father dominate Shane Mosley. That fight sparked something in him, a dream to follow in his father's giant footsteps. He was determined. He looked at his dad and said, "But Dad, boxing is my passion." Seeing that unwavering determination in his son's eyes, Pacquiao's stance softened. He realized this wasn't just a fleeting interest, it was a calling. In a move that signified his full acceptance and support, Pacquiao did something that would change Eman's life forever. "Then he signed my papers," Eman said, his voice filled with gratitude. His father told him, "Son, I'll make you a Pacquiao, so it'll be easier for you to rise in boxing." For Eman, this was the ultimate gesture. It wasn't just about getting the legal recognition. It was about his father actively paving the way for his future. It felt like Pacquiao was trying to make up for the lost time, to give him the support he hadn't been able to provide for years. The weight of that moment was immense. It felt like he was making it up to me, Eman shared. "I said, 'Oh my, thank you, Lord.' I went into my room and cried there. I said, 'Thank you, Lord.'" They were tears of validation, of joy, and of a dream finally taking flight with his father's blessing. Eman first started getting noticed by the public when he fought on the undercard of the Thriller in Manila's 50th anniversary event. This was his introduction to the mainstream boxing world. And people immediately started talking about the kid who looked and moved so much like a young Manny Pacquiao. This was before the public reunion, and it fueled a lot of speculation. But for Eman, it was the first Pacquiao son, but as a fighter in his own right. The decision to officially take the Pacquiao name is a massive step. It brings with it an incredible amount of pressure and expectation. Being the son of a legend is a double-edged sword. On one hand, it opens doors and brings immediate attention. On the other, the shadow of his father's legacy is colossal. Every move he makes in the ring will be compared to the 8th Division world champion. Every win will be scrutinized and every loss magnified. But Eman seems ready for the challenge. His journey has been one of quiet perseverance. He spent 5 years in Japan, honing his skills away from the glare of the Philippine media. He put in the work, learning the fundamentals and building his own foundation as a boxer. He didn't just show up and expect a free ride because of his last name. He chose the hard path of training and discipline, earning his place. His story also shines a light on the complexities of Manny Pacquiao's life. Here is a man who rose from absolute poverty to become a global superstar, a senator, and a national hero. His life has been lived under a microscope. But stories like Eman's remind us that there are always private struggles and personal histories behind the public persona. The reunion with Eman shows a side of Pacquiao that is deeply personal, a father seeking to mend a relationship and support his son's dream. Even if it's a dream born from his own painful profession. The boxing world is now watching Emmanuel Bacosa, or as he will soon be known, Emmanuel Pacquiao Jr. He carries not just a famous name, but a story of resilience. He waited patiently for his father's acknowledgement. He forgave the past. And he is now stepping into the ring with his father's full support. It's a compelling narrative that adds another fascinating chapter to the Pacquiao legacy. What's next for Eman? He has the raw talent, the unmistakable resemblance, and now the most famous name in boxing. But as his own father would tell him, a name doesn't win fights. Hard work, dedication, and heart do. Eman has already shown he has the heart, both in and out of the ring. His ability to forgive and his unwavering focus on his passion speak volumes about his character. This is more than just a boxing story. It's a story about family, forgiveness, and the pursuit of a dream against all odds. A son, inspired by his father, now gets the chance to create his own legacy with his hero in his corner. We'll all be watching to see what the next chapter holds for the young Pacquiao. Thanks for watching. What do you think about Eman's journey and his future in boxing? Let me know in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this story, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you don't miss our next video.